All right, welcome to Real Estate Success. I'm your host, Mena Badros, here today with Nick Good. Nick, good to have you here
Thanks for having me on, Mina.
for sure. Nick is the team leader for the Home Good team in Dallas, Texas. Nick, without mentioning any of your professional accomplishments, I want people to learn a little bit about you personally. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I've been in the real estate business since I was 22 years old, got licensed at 24. So I'm 39 now. I turned 40 in January. And I'm married. I have three kids, a dog that is the most expensive dog ever that just did his last chemo treatment. He had lymphoma cancer and it's in remission.
Oh, wow.
Um, and it's other than real estate, it's investing, and I don't really have a lot of hobbies. I try to play golf and spend time with the family.
Awesome. So I'm sure your real estate career has evolved over the years. What do you do now in real estate, or how do you personally spend your time in real estate?
No, great question. So 100% has evolved. So when I got in the business in 2004, I was an unlicensed assistant. So I was getting paid to help support a real estate brokerage, a husband and wife team. And I learned how to cut my teeth on that. Right, I learned how they were going after and farming neighborhoods. I learned how they worked their sphere and really worked their community that they lived in. And when I turned 24, I graduated college, bought a house, and got married all in the same month, and decided to become a 100% real estate commissioned sales agent because I wanted to make a lot of money, right? I wanted to make $100,000. And so, back then I was doing anything and everything to get business. I was the agent, I was the assistant, the administrator, the transaction coordinator, you named it, I did it all.
Right.
And as my business grew, it was painstaking. There were several times that I can take you down a path of many times where I wanted to quit, where I almost quit, and started to learn how to treat this as a real business and treat this as a career, not just a job. And since then, I mean, yeah, my business has evolved from just me to then building a team and then learning how to support my agents to then ultimately building the type of company that we have today that allows it to continue to run and grow with a little bit of my involvement. But I have amazing people in place. I have amazing team leader Sarah, who helps execute on the vision and really helps attract the right agents to our team, as well as the operational side, where we have a great people in our operations that support the back end of our agents, all the transactions that are coming through. So my involvement today is less on the front facing side of the clients and more on making sure that we're executing on the vision that we're going as a company.
Awesome. I'd love to expand on, you mentioned you almost quit and then you started running your real estate career like a business. What does that mean, or what was that shift like for you?
Absolutely. So in 2008, I experienced what everyone else did during the Great Recession. That financial collapse is all the business started going away, and I was 25 years old, and luckily I was already broke, so I didn't have a lot to lose. But during that time, I was not really putting. I was a 25-year-old who, like most people, probably still today, most people they're not very good at being their own boss, right? They don't really hold their feet to the fire. And so, I was hurting for money. I did not have a lot of sales coming in and through the door. In fact, I had one month where I had 8 closings under contract, right? I was walking around, and this is kind of that light bulb moment. I was walking around, I had all these contracts, and I was walking around like Superman. Bullets were going to bounce off me if you were to shoot a gun at me. And this is when the financial collapse happened. All 8 of those contracts fell out, and they
Wow.
never came back to life. And so I went into freakout mode. I didn't have a pipeline built up. I didn't know where my next paycheck was coming from. And I did what any normal, desperate human being would do, which is I started looking for jobs. Right? As like, I don't think I'm cut out for this 100% commission industry. It's very stressful. I don't like the ups and downs, the roller coaster of knowing, feast or famine. And so I started going on all these job interviews. And back then we were seeing a lot of high unemployment. And so I was going on a ton of interviews. And ultimately I had went on this interview for this asset management company. It was a company that was in charge of disposing and selling off the foreclosures that were coming in through the banks. So I went on 2 or 3 of those interviews, and then they offered me a position, and the salary I believe was like 60 or 65,000 with benefits, which was great. I didn't have benefits back then. I definitely didn't know where my next 60 or 65,000 a year was going to come in at, and so it was a great opportunity. And what I told them, I was like, I'm grateful. Thank you for giving me this offer. Give me 24 hours just to talk it over with my then wife, and I'll get back to you and go over the next steps. And on the way home from that last job interview where they made me that offer, I had this, whatever, divine intervention, whatever, if you're spiritual, whatever, something hit me, right? This light bulb epiphany moment, which was if I were to commit as many working hours as this job that I would have taken would require, which back then they said I needed to work Monday through Saturday. And they had set hours. And if I wanted to hit their bonus level structure, I really probably needed to work on Sunday and ultimately probably try to squeeze an 8th day in there magically. And so, when I was driving home from that light bulb moment was like, if I worked Monday through Saturday the way they are going to require me to work for this salary position, then I should be able. There's no way I can't make $60,000 or $65,000. In fact, there's probably a good probability that if I'm working that many hours, I can actually make the 100,000, the 6 figures that I had set a goal for myself to make. Right. And so that's where that light bulb moment went off, which was I was expecting to make full-time income on part-time effort. And I'm sure that we are all guilty of that in our real estate business, whether we're a veteran, whether we're brand new, whether we had an amazing year, that we all probably, weren't as efficient as that we should be, or that if we were working for a W-2 position, a salary position for somebody else and had bosses and management overlooking it, then we probably would be pushing ourselves a lot harder.
Right. I definitely agree there. Which came first? Which one came first, the real estate agent or the investing?
Being a real estate agent. So I got in the business like I was delivering pizzas in college, and the gas prices were going up, and ultimately my thought process was like, if I wanted to be a good prospect to find a future wife and to be a dating material, they're probably not dating the pizza delivery drivers out there. And so on our college career board, they had a job opening, looking for an assistant for a real estate brokerage. And my brother Austin and I had always wanted to become a real estate investor. We had read all the books, Rich Dad Poor Dad, any real estate, creative financing books out there. We'd read them all. And so what better way than to really get a deeper understanding of how the real estate industry works than to go become an assistant to a real estate brokerage. And so interviewed for that position, got the job. It was 20 hours a week. So I wasn't making a lot of money. In fact, I was making very little, but it was a great way to cut my teeth on it. And I'm still amazing friends with that broker, Jay and Mindy Robbins. And Jay really set me on the path of who I am today as a real estate agent and real estate broker.
That's awesome. Why did you decide to get into real estate investing?
I mean, why wouldn't you? It's financial freedom. It's where most of these millionaires and wealthy families had built their fortunes. And I wasn't creating a company to go and sell for millions and billions. And so ultimately my thought process would come in, and, learn the real, go buy houses, create rentals, flip a few houses, and start building it up that way. So ultimately, that was really our intention when I got in. Became a real estate assistant, and I didn't have, back then and even today, I didn't have a goal to be a real estate agent or a real estate broker. It was more so to really understand the process so that I could go build and build a real estate investing business.
Awesome. So to leverage really for your investment size, but then obviously you saw the opportunity and what you can bring to, being as a real estate agent, right?
Of course. At 24, 25, 2009 was when I made my first six figures in the industry, and I was 26 years old. And I mean, there's no better, in my opinion, there's no better industry to really come and build the type of income and build the type of lifestyle. I mean, there's really not many other places that you can come and replicate that.
Awesome. Yep. So I think the stat on real estate agent investors is fairly low. I think the majority of real estate agents are not investors. I think it's about 30 some percent of agents own a second home. How do you find the balance between, the investor and the agent, or you yourself being an investor and the agent?
I mean, great question. I mean, I had a little bit of an advantage where my brother, who was my business partner, we divided and conquered, right? So what we did is I ran our traditional real estate business and he built our investment divisions. Unfortunately, he passed away in October of 2021. And I'm now working that solo and individually. And what really the opportunity is this way, right? As an agent, what is our number one job? Our number one job is to lead generate. Our number one priority is to go out there and look for motivated sellers and buyers every single day. And so if you're out there looking for a motivated seller, there's probably a good chance that you're going to run across a property that homeowner, that property owner is needing a quick sale solution, right? And in my opinion, I should treat that where I want to look at that opportunity first. And I mean, I know there's many times in the past that I've sold a property to investor clients of mine that realistically would have been an amazing investment for myself. And
Right.
so as an agent who wants to become an investor, who maybe they're afraid, maybe they don't think they have the funds to do it. Maybe they don't think they have the knowledge. My advice to them is saying, look, if you're going to go and sell a property that you've run across to an investor, then why would you not sell it to yourself? If it's good enough for that investor client of yours, why is it not good enough for you?
Right. No, for sure. What types of, I know you mentioned it earlier fairly quickly, but what types of real estate investments did you get into, and what are you focused on now?
Absolutely. Great question. So in the beginning, we were flipping. We didn't have the necessarily funds just to build. We weren't building our buy and hold portfolio at that time. In 2010, we flipped our first property. That came up from a short sale, and that was a referral to us. And I think 2011 is when we bought our first buy and holds, our first rental single family. And what we would do is just analyze whether it made sense equity wise to either flip it. Like if there was a lot of profit on it, we would most likely flip that and then sit on that cash and then redeploy that and just build up our cash arsenal. And if it wasn't a good, maybe it wasn't necessarily a lot of profit on it from a flip wise, but it would cash flow really, really well. We would then just keep that as a rental property. And so we did that from 2010 and through today. I can't even tell you, I think I have close to 300 doors. If not over that. I own six storage facilities. And I'm just completed. I'm a partner in an assisted living project, a 96 bed assisted living project, and analyzing a 96 bed student housing development right now. So It's definitely evolved into to the developments, into you know opportunities that we could raise money to and bring other investors in to help them increase their net worth, as well as to show them how they can become passive investors. Maybe they don't have the appetite to go manage something as large of a deal, but they can come in and be able to participate in the upside to get in a good return on their money and have some great tax benefits.
Awesome. The 300 doors that you have, are they all long-term rentals?
They're all long term. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And the
I don't
storage,
have. Yeah, I don't have any short terms.
the storage facilities, are those owned by you? Are they partnerships, syndications, or
Partnerships. I'm a partner in a group called State Storage. So
okay?
State Storage with Dave Heil. Amazing group. I mean, we've got a proven track record, and so not really a syndication. It's more so investing in money, and people put in the work to. It's a group of us, but each of us have our responsibilities to make sure that the businesses are running profitably and growing.
Awesome. As an agent and an investor, what other brokerage firms were you with before the current one?
Yeah, so I was with an independent that I started out with, Robbins Real Estate, and then in 2007 I joined Keller Williams, and never thought became a broker, but never thought I'd leave Keller Williams. In fact, I was in the process of looking at and opening up a Keller Williams franchise in Sherman, Texas, and one thing that I always like to do is I always want to check out who my competition is and really understand it, so that way when we're attracting people to our companies, that we can show them really why partnering with us would be advantageous for them and their business and their family. And as I was going through it and really analyzing the Keller Williams model, EXP Realty had been on the radar, and the more that I dove into EXP, the more that it made sense. And so in July of 2018, I joined EXP. Never thought I would. Never thought I'd leave Keller Williams, but joined EXP in July of 2018, and it's been an amazing partnership and amazing growth. And I'm able to partner with over 400 agents across. I think we're in 33 states now, and
Awesome.
really able to help pour into be in financial alignment and pour into agents all across the United States.
Awesome. So one more question about kind of the investing side, and we'll kind of shift gears to real estate agent. As an investor slash agent, have you found any models more or less friendly to investor agents, if that makes sense?
Models in you mean brokerage models?
Brokerage models, right? Yeah, a lot of investors, go get their real estate license, just as me and you. The original thought or intent is really to leverage for the investing side, and then some people find opportunities as a real estate agent. Um, but yeah, have you found any brokerage models more or less friendly to folks who are investors, and that's what they want to use their license for?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure that there's some other ones out there. I don't really look at a investor brokerage in terms of being a real estate agent is a whole different business.
Right.
It's a whole different business than just being a real estate investor. And so ultimately the way that I look at it is I put my businesses in buckets. And so I've got my investment business. The investment business is going to grow by one, finding great opportunities. That's a lead gen model. And we're going to do that through our real estate. We're going to do a lot of that where it can cross promote into our real estate team here with EXP. And so ultimately, is there another brokerage out there that may be a little bit more more advantageous for an investor? I'm sure there are. I'm sure it's a mom and pop, maybe a little one. But what I found here at EXP is that a lot of the investor agents are here at EXP. And so from that standpoint, the willingness to share, the openness that we have here, kind of the mindset, is that I'm able to pick the brains of some amazing people that may not be selling a ton of traditional real estate, but they're representing and bringing in a lot of investor style properties or deals or clients. And so I've been able to, I've been able to pick their brains. And so, I think ultimately each brokerage, if there's enough agents there, if there's like even at Keller Williams, they just started a group called KW Wealth by through Brett Tanner. I'm sure that's a great opportunity to leverage it out. So it's really how much you're willing to plug in and pour in that you're willing to get out of it.
Awesome. I love that. Now you had a successful team kind of before coming to EXP. What was kind of the one thing that you couldn't solve before coming to EXP, or kind of EXP made it easier for you to work around?
Yeah, the first thing that we looked at is we expanded. So we have teams in Austin and Houston. And so when we were with our previous brokerage at Keller Williams, it's a great company that's franchise owned. And
Right.
every office could be owned by a different franchise owner. And so ultimately, as we expanded our team's reach and into other offices, what we found is that those agents on our team had different real estate caps or commission caps and splits. And so ultimately, it wasn't synergistic. And when I've got agents in Houston that are paying a lot more to be on our team than our agents here in Dallas, it just didn't create the type of vibe and feel and culture that we wanted. In fact, we lost a lot of great agents because of that. And so number one reason why we even started looking outwards to another solution is that that here at EXP, that when we expand and we're expanding in other cities and states, then our cap is the same across the United States. I pay a $16,000 cap. My agents pay an $8,000 cap. And it makes it much easier and less red tape for us to go in and expand our business outwards. And so that was number one, this from a company perspective. Number two is that it really helped benefit our agents even more. And what I mean by that is that EXP is publicly traded. So our agents can participate in the stock ownership program. They can get it through just doing their normal production, where they can purchase the stock at a 10% discount through their closing commissions. They get stock awards awarded to them for capping or for attracting agents to the company. And no other brokerage is able to offer that, really. And then the other really part that made it more advantageous for our real estate team members is that they really get rewarded for attracting and bringing agents to EXP. They get financially rewarded through revenue share. Right. And so, it's the way that we looked at it is that what we wanted to do is make sure that we're helping to create more financial gain and opportunity for our agents to put them in a better position to win. If our agents are winning, then the company's continuing to win. So, but that number one thing that really made us look at it at first was, as we were expanding into other cities and states, that we needed that one cap, that one easy flow, and it just didn't happen at the other brokerage.
Right. I mean, in short words, it streamlined your operations for your teams as you expanded, pretty much. Right.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's key. What were some keys that contributed to your success as an agent and your team? I know you guys are doing a lot in production. So what were some key factors that contributed and continue to do so for your team?
Yeah, and I wish I could. One of my agents took this term for me. Elizabeth Austin took this term for me when I was teaching a class, and we call it proactively prospecting. And what that means is that we as much as this market is trying to beat everyone up, we don't let the market control us, right? So being proactively prospecting means that we're being very proactive on our lead generation. We do a lot of outbound calls. So we're calling people that are most likely to sell. So we're calling expireds, for sale by owners, canceled listings. We're uploading list of absentee homeowners and reaching out to them to see if they would have any interest in selling, because their home values have gone up so much, and maybe they've become tired of renting it out and being a landlord, or maybe they're just ready to cash out. And so ultimately, we're going to that marketplace and being proactive on it to help solve problems, because like our coach always says, money changes hands when problems are solved. So if we can go out and determine where the problems are in the marketplace, and we can come up with the right solution for it, then we can earn our way, to get a client.
Awesome. Love that. I'm going to ask you a few rapid fire questions and we're going to wrap this up. All right.
Yeah.
One piece of advice you would give to new agents?
Don't expect full-time income on part-time effort. This is a full-time career, full-time job. So you need to treat it as one. 40 hours minimum.
Awesome. How about seasoned agents?
Same thing. A lot of seasoned agents got fat and happy, and what got them there is not gonna continue keeping them there. And
Right.
so ultimately, those agents need to dust off, become what we call it's skillionaire time. And what that means is it's time for those veteran agents to dust off those skills, or to add more skills to their knowledge and expertise, and that way that they can stay credible and relevant in the marketplace.
Awesome. So this might be kind of a similar answer, but if you had one big message for all real estate professionals, what would it be?
It's the same as be proactive, and don't let this market beat you up. So proactively prospect, proactively lead gen, making sure that you stay in control of your schedule, and don't expect full-time income on part-time effort, right? Don't be upset with the results that you got from the work that you didn't do, right? So ultimately you need to come out, and it's time to dust off that 40-hour work week, because a lot of people during COVID and in the last 2 years, they've been making great money and probably haven't been working that much.
If you could suggest one person that I would interview, who would it be, if you had one on the top of your mind?
Oh, there's so many. Glenn Sanford is the CEO and founder of EXP. Look, Gary Keller, even with Keller Williams, they've got their visions and understanding of this. They've built some amazing brokerages that help support agents. From the marketing and lead generation side, it's like it'd be Grant Cardone, Coach Michael Burt, Jay Kinder. There's so many that I can name that it wouldn't be just one.
Awesome. Love it. And last question for you. What's next for you personally?
Great question. So what next for me is to make sure that the Good Home team is continuing to run circles in the marketplace and take their unfair share of the market, right? So we have amazing people that are a part of our organization that they're able to go run with the ball now. And so I'm excited to see what the next really 3 years looks like for the Good Home team.
Awesome. Well, Nick, thank you so much. This was great. I appreciate your time. Appreciate all the great information. I'm sure people are going to love this episode. Thank you once again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, buddy. Take care.
All right. You too.